Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessTrader.com nightly update show. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Guys, kindly take a moment out, support the channel, and click that like button. And all I ask is takes a tenth of a second of your time, and hopefully I will continue to do my best to guide you forward. So let's talk about it. Obviously, I recorded the video over the weekend before the whole, us invading basically Venezuela. Obviously, kind of a big deal, right? Big deal. If you looked at the headlines, you had a really big aggressive move potential in the names all correlated, right? Obviously, oil had a big spike today. Anything to do with oil, energy, commodities, silver went nuts, gold went nuts. I think SLV was up 5%, GLD was up 3%. You had a big, massive, really big aggressive rally in the Dow, which was led by banks, right? You had banks, JP Morgan, Bank of America, JP Morgan, the whole usual suspects. The one group, right? The one group that really didn't, I don't want to use the word didn't participate, but didn't really participate. And obviously that is technology. Even Bitcoin had a really big aggressive spike. Last time I saw Bitcoin, I believe Bitcoin was, I think it was 94,000. That's literally the last time I saw it. I could be wrong. Yeah, 94,000. As I'm recording the video right now, 94,000. The problem is, well, is kind of what I trade. I trade mega cap technology, right? For all the uranium names and oil names that spiked. Again, for example, look at the uraniums went nuts. We had UUU as one of the non-beta name pivots, confirmed the 50-day moving average, had a really nice spike. You had these UECs of the worlds, and SMRs of the worlds, and OKLOs and so forth and so on. Had really big days. But the mega cap group continues to trail, right? If you look at the surface, and we talked about this over the weekend, yes, the Qs reclaimed back the 50-day moving average today on the close. However, there is a however, okay? That's the good news, right? On the surface, that's definitely a good news. The problem is we closed lower than we opened. That is a red candle, right? That is a red candle. And we had an inside day from Friday's selling, which basically means it didn't take out the highs and didn't take out the lows. And when you look at the group, right, at the group as a whole, yeah, there was definitely some strength, right? There's definitely some strength, but let's talk about it, right? You had the semiconductors that had a really big aggressive spike at the open. Then you saw headlines come out. I believe it was from Samsung. The headlines came out. This is one of the biggest, semiconductor shortage they could remember. And on that headline, it was like one of those delayed reactions. But on that headline, for some reason, these stocks just imploded. And it doesn't make a difference what stock you looked at this morning. Every single semiconductor had really aggressively reduced. So Avago was up 10, right? 10 pre-market. At one point, it went down 10. AMD was up about 7 points pre-market. Went down, just pretty much closed at the lows of the day. You had some really aggressive reversals in the semiconductor space. A name, for example, like NVDA, right? NVIDIA at the, pre-market, the stock was, hanging around pretty much last week's highs, and you had this nasty reversal. Speaking of which, NVIDIA is presenting right now at 4 o'clock in the CES event. This probably will say some cool things. I will be interested to see, just because of the weakness in the semiconductors, and today you can see it held on to the 50-day moving average. I'll be curious to see if they don't really say anything really outrageous in this event. I'm very curious to see tomorrow if we lose the 50-day moving average, because again, if you look at a lot of these semiconductors, they really got hit very hard. Yet, not only weakness in the semiconductor space, considering how strong the broader market rally was, you had weakness in software, right? You had Oracle, which is very close of losing a 3-week range. You had Microsoft, right? Continues to act really poorly, man. This thing, it just doesn't act well at all. Anything to do with semiconductors, even Apple, right? Even Apple continues to go lower. Amazon was one of the very few bright spots. And the reason why I say that is it's not only did it reclaim back the 50-day moving average, but it's very, very close to reclaiming back the upper Bollinger Band. So if we do continue to rally, right? If we do continue to rally, assuming we do, right? Assuming we do, assuming we don't give back the 50-day moving average tomorrow. Because again, guys, we only closed $1 above the 50-day. And if you look at the QQQs, right? If you look at the day high today, we're talking about closing $4 off the highs. What I think is going to happen, and guys, I'm going to give you this area for you. Okay, write down this area so you can have it focused if we do rally. You see this whole range here? It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-day range. Tomorrow will be day 6. The top of the range here got rejected twice. That's also the 5-day supply. The Qs now need to stay above 16.5, 17 on the close. Obviously, any close below that, we'll revisit back last week's lows. But on the upside, if we can get on a closing basis back above 623, right? If we can get back above 623, as you can see here, it's got rejected twice at 623. That I think will open up Pandora's box, and once that's released, I think we will have a pretty strong rally. But it's so crucial, it's super duper important that the bulls hold on to a 617, 16.5, 17 close. Because again, if we close back below the 50-day moving average, more selling will come. On Tesla, let's talk about Tesla. So entering today, it had its longest losing streak in a quite a while, right? We saw a picture being tweeted out. I think it was from Elon Musk. He tweeted out a picture of him, Trump, and Melania having dinner, and the headline wrote, "Big things," right? Big things for 2026. Obviously, people love that headline, and the stock started rallying. And yes, it had a strong day, right? Strong day. It did close. About $6 off its highs. But here again, just the same way as the NASDAQ 100, it's very, very hard for me to get excited just yet on Tesla, just because, again, I know what the stock needs to do to really start stretching, and having an inside day kind of mirroring the QQQ is not exactly what you want. Again, strong day, but keep this in mind. Stock was up 13 points today. The stock is down. And his stock was down 50 points in 7 sessions. So you have to be a little bit, tamed of your excitement of the stock. What it needs to do, and if it's going to do that, it's going to do that tomorrow. Just like we have levels on the Qs. I'm not going to specifically give you guys the levels on Tesla, what it needs to do, but it has to hold on to the 50-day moving average, right? That is for sure. It reclaimed it today at the open, and that was a very, very important part of what we're doing. But if it loses the 50-day moving average at any given point, yes, we will start testing back last week's lows. What it needs to do to get back to the upside, we need to start taking out a couple of days worth of supply, start building back above the 20-day moving average, and start testing the 10. We did see some random, some random deep out of the money calls, but it wasn't like one of those panic buying type of scenarios that all you saw in your filter, in your scanner, was Tesla. So it still has some room. It still needs some work to do. It definitely needs to, at least for us to have a conversation back to the upside. I really would like to see it get back above the 20-day supply. And if that can do it, then I still think it's going to need a little bit more work, but at least that's the initial step for the stock to get very, very aggressive back to the upside. Some other names had a really crappy day today. You had Eli Lilly. I actually shortened this thing. It's not really one of those stocks that I would look at, but it broke below the 20-day moving average today. You had some pretty big put buying coming in for the 10-20 weeklies, and you had some a buyer came in 1,000 times for for the 1,000 puts. So keep an eye on this thing for if there's more downside. It's going to need to get back below the 34 EMA to really get hit as well. So look, on the surface, the bulls did reclaim the 50-day moving average. That's positive. Okay, that's the glass half full. The glass half empty is the leaders, right? The majority of the semiconductor leaders, the majority of the software leaders, the majority of mega cap technologies just didn't participate, and a lot of them were red. Here, let me give you guys some non-beta names that I am watching for tomorrow. Again, we need to get back above 623 on the Qs, or if we start losing back the 50-day moving average, that is going to be a kind of a red light, right? The green light is above 623. The red light is below the 50-day moving average. All you have to do is look at the chart and see where that is. But let me give you guys some names that I like for tomorrow. Non-beta names, right? Not beta names correlated. ASTS, very, very strong name, needs to clear out the December highs. That looks good. AFRM, really, really aggressive move today. Really, really powerful, aggressive move today. Engulfed this whole 2-week channel, which is super bullish. This is the highest close. And this whole entire formation, only reason why it stopped, it hit the upper Bollinger Band. Watch this thing above today's channel for another move higher. CIFR, if you guys notice, a lot of these capital market stocks started getting pretty strong here. Look at the CIFR. Again, I have no idea what this thing is. But look, last time it closed above the 50-day moving average, you can see it right over here on November 25th. Had a 3-day run. So this is the first close above the 50-day. Keep an eye on this thing tomorrow for potential day 2 run. Look at WULF, right? Pretty much the same thing. It's literally the same type of chart. Again, here's kind of a prime example. On 11/24, reclaimed back the 50-day moving average and went on a nice 3-day run. So again, first close above the 50-day. Stock is actually very, very liquid. Traded 26 million shares today. So keep an eye on this thing. This thing confirms the 50-day moving average. This thing will head higher as well. I talked about Amazon in case we continue to rally. Oracle just does not look good, man. Oracle just does not look good. I'm going to watch this thing in case there's more weakness in the software, in the general mega cap space. So let's keep an eye on that. And NVIDIA, yeah, like I talked about, let's watch NVIDIA. So far, they're not really saying anything phenomenal on their CES presentation. But again, who knows where the stock is going to be tomorrow. But again, you can see here, it stopped and held the 50-day moving average 3 times in the last 2 weeks. And if they sell the news, whatever, I guess you can sell the news on a CS event. But if they do sell the news, I will definitely be watching it to the downside as well. So that's it, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. Welcome to 2026. So far, so good. God bless. I'll see you on the field tomorrow.